Hello there, crafty friends. It's Alicia of the Call Me Crafty Al YouTube channel, and I am back today with another Card a Day in July video. I announced this video series earlier in the month, and in that announcement, I let you know how you could play along with me. So make sure to check out that video, which is linked in the description box below. My goal this month is to try to get crafty every day and share it here with you on YouTube. I would really love to get out some of the products that I have never used or the products that I used to love and have had in storage for a while. Once I start my card process, I will start doing a voiceover. If you have any questions that I don't answer in the voiceover, make sure to leave those in the comment section below. You're probably not the only one with the question. For today's card, which is the 9th in my series, I will be creating a shaker card using some balloon dies. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, I always appreciate a thumbs up. And if this is your first time to my channel, I hope by the end of the video you'll be inspired to hit that subscribe button. To my regular viewers and subscribers, thanks so much for stopping back by. Here we go. Here's a look at the products that I will be using in today's video. First of all, the Hero Arts Infinity dies, and then I have this balloon die set. Next, to add some texture, is the Doris Chevron embossing folder. For my stamping and some more die cutting, I will be using the Hero Arts Stamp and Cut set and VersaFine Onyx Black ink. For my shaker elements, I am using the leftover chunky glitter that I shared that I got at Walmart a couple cards ago. And then I have my white top fold card base, a piece of turquoise cardstock that fills the front of that, and then a piece of white cardstock that is 5 by 3 3/4 inches. Also for my sentiment, I have a little white scrap of cardstock. Since the middle of this blue piece will not be seen, I went ahead and cut a frame from it, and then later you'll see I use the middle to die cut my sentiment for the front of the card. Next, I took some time to decide which of the balloons I wanted on my card front. I needed to make sure that when I placed these, there was still enough white on the outside of each opening for my foam tape later for the shaker window. Once all of the balloons were die cut, I put the piece of cardstock into the chevron embossing folder, and I just love the extra texture that this gives the piece. Instead of die cutting the string for my balloons, I decided that I would use some black DMC floss and make real strings on my balloons. I used the very tip of my paper piercer to make a hole as small as I could on either side of the little nub at the bottom of the balloons. Then I threaded my smallest needle that I could find with 2 strands of floss, and then I tied a knot and then tied a tiny little bow at the bottom of each balloon. Once I had it the right size, I cut the left tail to just be short for the bow and left the rest of the string hanging so I can adjust that later. I adhered a scrap of clear cardstock onto the back of the white die cut piece, and once that was done, I went ahead and adhered my blue frame onto the card front, and you'll notice that I did put the adhesive on the card front and then place the frame onto it. I find this is a little bit easier when adhering frames like this. To try to get rid of as much of the static as I can when I go to put my chunky glitter into my shaker windows, I did rub a dryer towel and my embossing buddy onto the back of the clear cardstock. And now it's time for my big roll of foam tape. I just love this for shaker windows because it is only 1/4 inch wide, so it fits in a lot of tight spaces. I did have to trim some of it in half, you'll see here in a little bit, but otherwise it was great for this, and I just made that frame around the outside for later. Before I started adding my chunky glitter, I did go ahead and pull the blue release liner on most of the foam tape. I find that if I do this after the fact, that glitter likes to jump around and stick to the foam tape. I used my tiny little spoons from the Dollar Tree to put about half a spoonful into each of my balloons, and then I used a scrap of white cardstock to seal all my shaker goodies in there. I adhered this piece then to the card front, and then it was time to get my sentiment ready. I chose the birthday stamp from the Stamp and Die set, and I stamped that with the onyx black onto a scrap of white cardstock. Then I die cut the happy. Again, I just pulled that scrap from when I die cut the blue piece before. And now I'm going to die cut birthday with a little banner flag die here. Once I had the placement of my sentiment pieces where I wanted it, I went ahead and put a glue dot right in the center of the card front, and then I pulled each of the balloon strings to this point. To help hold those down, I adhered the birthday banner flat down to the card front, and then I'm going to pull out my glue sponge to add the word happy to the front. This allows me to have adhesive just all on the back of this, and it sticks very well. I just let it sit for about 10 minutes before I finish the card. The last step is to cut off the extra string on the balloons. And here is a look at my finished card. I hope you enjoyed this video today, and until my next one, I hope you're having a crafty day. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch all the way to the end of the video. I hope that you'll consider clicking on one of the videos or playlists I have linked above, and if you're interested in any of the products or tools that I use in the video, I do have some links in the description box.